Hey, welcome everybody. This is your man Jason Myles. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to keep this real brief because I really want to just kind of jump into this, but I definitely want to take this opportunity to make sure that you like and subscribe. Do that right here, right now, so that I can continue to give you all the information and content that I enjoy giving, and I hope that you enjoy receiving. Okay? So we talk a lot about real estate and we talk a lot about business. Pretty much that's all we talk about. So today we're going to talk about finding deals. How do you find deals? Can you find deals in the market that we're in? Stick with me. Be right back. So now we're talking about finding the right kinds of deals, right? I'm telling you, I get this question over and over. It's either this one or there's not enough money. How do we find the money, right? But finding deals is truly number one. In the climate that we're in today, it is a little bit more difficult, maybe a lot more difficult to find the kinds of deals that we found 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. You know, with these huge equity spreads in them, you know, home values have gone through the roof over the course of the last couple of years. It's an absolute buyer's market, you know. Well, it's really a seller's market because sellers are getting what we want. We're getting what we ask for. You know, if we have a house that we would have sold, I have a house right now that, you know, a year ago, 6 months ago, we would have sold it for, you know, 320, 315. You know, we're getting 350 for it 6 months later. You know, it's absurd. And that's because of what the market is doing. But that also bleeds right into us as investors, our wholesale deals. You know, finding those, the values have gone up and it's very difficult. That coupled with the fact that materials have, you know, the lumber in particular, sheetrock, I mean, you name it, everything has gotten ridiculously expensive. Here I'm in Atlanta and lumber tripled over the course of the past 12, 15 months. I mean, those are huge numbers. And that falls right into finding the right deals. So if you were estimating a renovation budget of, let's say, $60,000, means you can probably go ahead and add another 50% to that just to cover your materials. You know, so something that might have cost 60 now is going to cost 90. It just is what it is. But are there deals out there? Absolutely. There's absolutely a ton of deals out there. And where do you find them? Well, you're going to find those deals in the exact same places. The problem is people aren't as motivated because of the moratoriums. People aren't as motivated to sell that real estate, right? So they may be behind on their mortgage, but they have no fear of being put out. Not right now, anyway. That's definitely going to happen. But foreclosures and evictions have been put on hold. Banks are still opting, even after that, to figure out how they can work with the homeowners because they don't want to take all this stuff off their hands. I mean, they don't want to put people in bad situations with the foreclosures. So they're trying to work with them. As long as the people can work with them, meaning give them money more than the note was originally, then yes, the banks are going to keep working with them. But we still have people that are unemployed. We still have people that are just choosing not to go back to work and they're taking those unemployment checks, which we also know are ending, right? So people are going to be forced to go back to work. So the big question is, will they be able to catch up on their mortgage? Those forbearance programs that people took thinking that it was saving them put them in a real big hole. You know, in some cases, we're seeing people that their mortgage has doubled or it's 50% more, or they've got a balloon payment at the end of a 6-month or 3-month term that they're not going to be able to pay because they haven't been working at all. You know, you get a forbearance so that you can get through these rough times, but you're going to be trying to make money, and if you're not making enough money to cover all those things, you can wind up in a really bad situation 3, 4, 6 months down the line, which a lot of people will. Now, where can we find our deals? Okay, there are people that are blessed to be in certain areas. I'm one of them. we have gotten spoiled in the Southeast as it relates to getting the kind of ARVs that we want. Again, buying a property and fixing it all inside of 70% or less. So those things aren't that way for everyone else. So we're forced now here in Atlanta, and a lot of people are very reluctant to do this, to do what they're doing in other areas of the country, like in California, where, you know, if you can get a 15 or 20% equity spread, you're doing pretty good, but the values are obviously much, much higher as well. Same in New York. But we're seeing those kinds of things here as well. We're seeing situations where we're buying property right now at 80 cents on the dollar, all in, you know, where I would have never done that before, but I have people that I have to keep working. I've got to keep my crews working. So as instead of me making 14 or 15% on the retail from the retail price, I'm making maybe only 6%, 7%. It's half of that. It's half of that or less. So it doesn't mean that I want to do twice as many deals, because I'd have to put out that much more money to do them. Just to throw it back, a lender is still lending at 70% ARV. That other 10% I have to come out of pocket with. So you can do, I mean, we're accustomed to doing about 15, maybe 20 flips a quarter. Now we're doing a third of that, maybe 5, 4. We've got 4 active right now. And in order for me to do more, I'm not just putting out the same amount of money, I'm putting out a lot more money, about 50%, 60% more money. Meaning, if it's generally costed me about 30 or 40,000 to get into a deal, now it's costing me 50 or 60 to get into that exact same deal. So I have to, you know, be cognizant of that. You know, there's only so much money to go around, but we still have to make sure that our people eat. We haven't laid anyone off, thank God. So what did we do? We shifted our gears. And a lot of people, a lot of investors are unwilling to do this as well. Not only are we still doing our fix and flips, but we're also doing lease options. We're working with owners of single family homes that haven't been able to get rents, that haven't been able to evict people, that have been able to evict people but wound up in the exact same situation with the next tenant. And they're behind. They've got a forbearance and they're worried about, you know, their mortgage and their credit. So we're picking those up. We're also working with homeowners in the exact same way. So we're picking those properties up with less equity, but we know we're going to be in them for the next 2, 3, maybe even 4 years. So we're picking those up to give us cash flow today and big lump sum payment years down the line when the market comes back, and we can sell those with 15 or 20%, maybe even 30% equity, depending on what the market does and how we can pick it up today. So yes, there are deals out there. If you're just a wholesaler and you're looking for deals to sell to other people that are fix and flippers, you have to know that you've got to be a better salesperson. You can find the deals, but you have to explain the deals to the people. Otherwise, they're going to just pass up on it, a lot of them. The ones that don't quite understand will just move on to the next, hoping that they can get a deal. And then there are those that take advantage of the home buyers. You know, I was in a situation, I think it was last week and a half ago, where we had a couple that, you know, their house needs work. They called us from some of our ads. They've got a forbearance. The husband is working, the wife isn't working, but it's not enough to cover everything. It's just not. So they're worried about losing their home in August, September, October, whenever, you know, through that process. So they're like, I don't think we're going to be able to come up with it once you start tacking on legal fees and the additional month's rents that are mortgages, that are going to be coming around. So they're concerned. So we go and we look at the house, and the house is nice. It's a nice house. You know, it's not distressed. It's financially distressed, but not physically distressed. So my conversation with the couple was, hey, listen, you can retail this house right now, make some money off of it, depending on how much you owe, and go on to the next phase of your life, because the reality of it is what I'm going to offer you is going to be a lot less than what you can get on the market for this property right now. Let me give you a couple numbers for you to call. Now, I know that a lot of you watching this wouldn't do that, but for me, it's important to make sure that we operate with integrity. You know, if I've got someone here that I know can get more money for their house and they're in a tough situation, I'm going to let them go ahead and do that. Now, if the house had physical distress along with the financial distress, obviously I'm gonna shoot my shot, right? I'm gonna go ahead and give the offer that I want to give, period. And we'll find some middle ground, hopefully, and move forward. Got to make a lot of offers to get a deal, but you have to do it. You know, we're doing direct mail campaigns, been doing them through this whole process, but we weren't getting any responses. We're typically getting about a 5% response in terms of calls, right? Every 1,000 mailers we send out, we'll get about 50 calls. Sometimes it's about 40, you know, but 50 is, you know, it's what we shoot for. And then we try to figure out how we can get 60 or 70%, but that's a whole or 6 or 7%, but that's a whole nother conversation. So we're getting, you know, 40 or 50 calls per 1,000 that we mail out before, and even at the beginning of the pandemic. But then through the pandemic, that trickled down to almost nothing. We'd get 2 or 3 calls per 1,000. Because again, people don't have the motivation. The pain isn't significant. They have time to see if they can fix their issues. But now that time is running out. Now that time is running out. So what we've done in those particular situations is double up on our marketing. We have a marketing campaign that goes out for our fix and flips and wholesale opportunities, and then we have one that goes out for our sandwich lease option opportunities. That's how we've been able to hedge it. That's what we're doing. I know there are a lot of people that don't want to do the lease option thing. They don't want to buy and hold anything. They just want to fix and flip and go on to the next. And I get that. You know, I'm a bit of a trader as well. That's what we're doing, right? When we're wholesaling, we're trading. You know, we're basically kind of trading options, trading paper. When we buy, fix, and flip, we're doing the same thing. It's like we're buying a little business just to sell it to someone else that wants to do something else with it, right? When we buy and hold, that's a business in and of itself. Now, with our lease options, the way we do it, we're creating homeowners. We're the bank for the people that are buying from us. So we're not being called at 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning to come and fix a light or a toilet that's leaking. No, that's not what we do. These people are actually homeowners. And that's how we hedged our bets. That's how we made a little bit more money here and there. That's how we're setting ourselves up for the future, for what's going to be, you know, in 22, 23, 24, potentially 25 with some of these houses. That's how we're working it. So yes, to answer your questions, for all those people that send me messages that says, hey, I can't find deals. Where are the deals? Where are they? Where are they? They are out there. Are there as many as there were before? No, not yet. Not yet they're not, but there will be. There absolutely will be. And you have to be prepared for that. And for those that are holding on to real estate right now, also be prepared to hold a little bit longer, because as those foreclosures come into play, as interest rates go up, as the Fed starts to increase those rates, we're already seeing mortgage applications decline. Just know that you're going to see a little bit of a hit in your value. Me personally, depending on where you are in the country and where you are inside those cities in the country, you know, you'll probably see anywhere between a 5 and 10% drop, but it'll be momentary. And then you'll get it back, and it'll grow, and it'll keep growing. I mean, we're not living in a society where we have a ceiling on costs. I mean, just Google the year you were born and see what a loaf of bread or a gas a gallon cost compared to where we are now. Values, prices do not stop increasing. Inflation is real. It is real. And if you don't figure out how to hedge it and keep making money, keep churning those dollars, and then putting all those dollars back to work, you're going to be stuck on the other side of inflation, and that's poverty. And we don't want to be there. So again, this is your man, Jason Myles. I don't want to talk your ear off, but thank you for listening. I hope this was very helpful. That's where we're finding deals. That's how we're finding deals. That's how we have been able to kind of move sideways, move laterally within the market, being able to shift, knowing the strategies to do that. If you want to learn more, click the links in this description. There's a free book down there. Just pay for the shipping and handling. There's free courses. Don't cost anything. Just do it. And again, like, subscribe to this channel. I want to be here to continue to share my information with you. I hope it was beneficial for you. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. See you next week. This is your man, Myles. Peace.